Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome to this channel. For those that don't know me, my name is Jeffrey Fung, also known as FBA Jeffrey, and I'm a 23-year-old seven-figure Amazon seller. More specifically, I've done over $4 million in lifetime sales, and my goal for this channel, or this YouTube channel, is to provide as much value and share all the tips and tricks that I have learned throughout my time selling on Amazon so that you can succeed on Amazon as well. So for this video, I want to talk about how to start selling on Amazon FBA, a beginner's guide, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, so let's get right into this video. So to begin selling on Amazon as a beginner's guide, the first thing that you want to do is to open up an LLC if you're located in the US, and if you're located in Canada, you want to incorporate. And to do so, it's very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. And what you want to do if you're in US, search up the Secretary of State and in your specific state to buy an LLC. So if you're located in New York, you want to search Secretary of State, New York, and you can do that. If you're in Canada, search up owner.co to incorporate your business. I will include the owner link in the description below, but as an example, I have searched on Google here, Secretary of State, New York, and it would be the first link. And once you get on this, you go under services, business, and then start a limited liability company. So that's what you do. It should take a few business days, but honestly, it's not, super complicated. Just provide your information, your details, and you will be well on your way. Similar to for Canadian sellers, you go on owner.co and you get started, and it's just as quick. You also get provided a business bank account if you're, like I said, if you're in Canada, right? So it's not complicated at all. And the next thing that you want to do is to open up an Amazon seller account. And there are two different plans. And if you're just getting started, you could start with the individual plan where the pricing is about 99 cents per item sold. So for every item that you sell, Amazon will charge you 99 cents. You only get charged per unit, and you can only sell 30 units before they make you upgrade. And it's just overall a good option if you want to play around with Amazon and get to know the layout better. But I honestly recommend off the bat going for the professional plan because it is $40 a month. And for $40 a month, you get all the features, you get everything. Every single seller, like 99.9% of Amazon sellers, are all on the professional plan. And to be honest, guys, this is the best $40 a month you will ever spend, just because it unlocks you so much opportunity. Because you're spending $40 a month, you get the opportunity to sell thousands every single month and make thousands in profits. So essentially, it's like $1.30 a day to open the door to make thousands of dollars in profit. And here would be the plan. Right now, I'm on sell.amazon.com. So this is the Amazon seller website. And I've just highlighted the two subscriptions that you can have. The first is individual, which is 99 cents a unit. The second is professional, and I don't want to go too in depth, as I'm sure you can take a look at this website yourself and compare. But I strongly recommend to start with the professional subscription at $40. It's just so much better. But either way, even if you opt into the individual, there is an option to upgrade as you go within the Amazon settings. So once you register that, it will take some time because Amazon has to verify all your information. Please make sure that your address is correct, your name is correct, and you're paying with a valid credit card or debit card. It's a very straightforward process. It should not be difficult at all. But if you do have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. But once you have the Amazon seller account, like I said, it should take maybe about 2 to 3 business days to open all of this. You want to begin getting your items. Actually, you could purchase your items and your materials as you're getting verified. It's not super expensive. And these are just the 3 materials or items that I recommend you start with. Obviously, there is more, like getting poly bags, bubble wrap, things like that. But as you're starting on Amazon, you just really need the very, very bare basics. So the first would be a tape gun. I believe you could get this on Amazon for like $10. Measuring tape, you can also get this on Amazon for $10. A weighted scale, you could probably get this on Amazon for $15. So to get started, it's like less than $30, to be honest with you. And more likely than not, you already have these items at home. If you have ever returned an item before, you definitely taped something. You probably measured it to see how, the dimensions and how much it weighs. So you already have all of these items, and If you don't, even if you're not selling at Amazon, I highly recommend you have these because they come in clutch when you need it. But if not, just go to Amazon.com and buy it. Or if you know there's a cheaper option, go into like dollar store or go into like your closest retail chain like Walmart or Costco to purchase it. To succeed as an Amazon seller, you definitely need these three. Now we want to jump into the different models that you can sell on Amazon. So obviously Amazon FBA is a great opportunity in of itself, but within selling on Amazon, there are three different models that many different sellers go through. And these three would be private label, arbitrage, and wholesale. So I will quickly and hopefully go into a lot of detail into each model so you can better decide which one is best for you. And the first would be private label. Here in this doc, I have highlighted, just quickly highlighted some of the details, or at least the important things that you should know about each one. So with private label, you're essentially purchasing these items from China, from websites like Alibaba, AliExpress. So items like this would be water bottles, like lunch containers. It could be like soap, pillowcases, something like that. It is pretty obvious that it is from China. And the thing about private label is you essentially purchase a bunch of them. You source them from an Alibaba or AliExpress supplier. You purchase them in bulk. And what I mean by bulk, I mean like a couple hundred units. So you purchase that upfront. And once they arrive at your house or your commercial address, you ship them out to Amazon, and then you create a whole brand around it. You run ads, everything of that sort. And it is very complicated. Now, I personally never did private label, but a couple of my friends I know that do, $10,000, $20,000 a month in profit just off private label. So I'm not saying this model is not viable, but it's definitely very complicated just because it's not as simple as buy and sell. You are creating your own demand, you're creating your own marketing, and you're selling the item. In my opinion, it's not the most viable for beginners or if you don't have a lot of cash to begin with, just because number one, you're not familiar with the Amazon platform. The second thing is you're going to have to buy hundreds of items upfront. So when I mean hundreds, I'm talking about 300 to 400 units, and each one is like at least minimum $10, right? Before shipping, before duties, tariffs, all of that. So you're easily dropping upwards of, close to $10,000 before you even make a single dollar back. Unfortunate part of it is you're not sure it will sell because there is no demand. You're just trying to buy. You just buy a lot of something up front and then you create a brand and you try to market it, if that makes sense. So in my opinion, it's not that beginner friendly. It requires a lot of cash, and you definitely need at least $10,000 to $20,000 just to get off the ground. But moving on to the next model, it would be arbitrage. And essentially within the arbitrage space, there are two more niche down categories. And the first is being online arbitrage, where you buy products to flip on Amazon from other e-commerce stores like Walmart, like Target, like Costco. Essentially what you do is you go on the sites, you hunt for the deals, you scan through the whole web catalog, and you compare with Amazon, and whichever items is profitable, you can purchase them and sell them. So online arbitrage is very popular amongst beginners, and it's definitely a great way to run up your money, to make your first couple $1,000s in profit before moving into wholesale. But that's another model that I will talk about. But within the arbitrage space, we just covered the online arbitrage aspect. Now we will go into the retail arbitrage aspect, where you go into these stores to find and purchase discounted products and resell them on Amazon. So what I mean by that is, instead of purchasing them from an online website, you will physically drive or bus to, like Walmart or Target, and you go to their discounted section and you scan each product, which is also very viable. And I'm not saying this model is not great, because when I first started on Amazon, I only had like $700 to my name. And I started by going into Canadian Tire. So that's a retail store in Canada. And I started buying a bunch of coffee machines. So that was retail arbitrage. And I also purchased a bunch online. So that was online arbitrage. And arbitrage is very effective just because when you don't have a lot of money to start off, it's a great way to run up your money, get quick sales, and figure out how to sell on Amazon. It's very great. And I do recommend, starting and selling on arbitrage if you're a newer seller or if you have a little bit of a lower budget. But moving on to the next model, which is wholesale, this is the ideal model. This is the model that has generated me millions of dollars in sales, and I will continue selling using this model going forward. And a lot of sellers eventually go from arbitrage to wholesale, just because once you build up your cash, ideally about 5 to 10K of just having cash in your bank account, you can successfully enter the wholesale space. And all you do is you send a quick email to distributors asking them to open up wholesale accounts where you can purchase big name products or big name brands such as Dove, Colgate, and Prime. I did make a previous video on this on how you can find and reach out to different wholesalers to open up your account. So if you want, you could go watch that video. And essentially you're purchasing items with existing demand, because like I said, these items are like Dove, they're Colgate, they sell thousands a month. They do thousands of units a month in sales on Amazon. So you do not have to worry about marketing. You do not have to worry about sales. All you do is purchase them at a discounted price and resell them on Amazon. This business model is not complicated. It's essentially just buying it at a lower price and selling it at a higher price. In my opinion, it is the best business model on Amazon, and all the guys making, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month on Amazon, they're all doing wholesale, and it is very sustainable, as you could sell the same items for months and years. And the best part about selling on Amazon is that you can make your first profits, your first, couple $100 within 10 days of starting. You do not need any sales or marketing skills, as you're simply buying products, like I said, at a lower price and reselling them at a higher price. So that's the best part about Amazon. Unlike dropshipping, where yes, dropshipping, you don't have a lot of upfront costs, but it will take months before you even see profit. I know people spending 6 months, even upwards of a year, just before they even turn profitable. And literally in hindsight, they're spending close to $10,000 upfront over the year before they even make money. But with Amazon, you're literally just hunting for items with demand. Like, I can't even emphasize that enough. Like products like Colgate, Nike, Dove, they already have so much demand. So as long as you can buy them, you will sell them. So you don't have to worry about, learning how to turn profitable, because you will be profitable as long as you buy it at the right price. Profit will come so quick, and it's a very, very simple business model, very easy to get started. And like I said, you could literally get started with like $500. I started with $700. I did arbitrage. And if you have 5 to 10K, I highly recommend going to wholesale. And I will post more in depth and more tips and tricks on succeeding on wholesale as we go along in my YouTube journey. Yeah, like I said, I can't emphasize it enough. I really strongly recommend you guys start selling on Amazon as soon as possible. So going into the next topic of ungating brands, I know this is a popular topic, and there is a lot of people talking about this in the general community on whether or not you can ungate a brand. And honestly, guys, it's not as complicated as people say it is. When you first open your seller account, yes, you will have constraints and you will not be allowed to sell certain categories, but there are different ways that you can ungate. And essentially, the only way that you could get ungated for these categories is, number one, you must purchase at least 10 items using an invoice with your business address. And what I mean by that is you cannot use a retail receipt. So if you go into Walmart and you purchase, let's say 10 Colgate toothpaste, and you get that paper receipt, it will not work to help you get ungated, just because it is number one, is a receipt. Number two, it does not have your business information. So you need an invoice, which, like I said, it's very, very easy to get. But that is what will get you ungated. Just having 10 units and an invoice with your business address on it. So at this doc, I say a retail receipt will not work. And the reason for that is because there is no address on it. So Amazon cannot determine if that is your receipt or your invoice or not. They can't differentiate who purchased it. But if you want to sell in the grocery niche, use a distributor called Frontier Co-op. Guys, this is straight value here. Some people charge hundreds of dollars just to tell you guys this information, but I will give you guys all of this for free right here. If you want to sell in the grocery niche, use Frontier Co-op. If you want to sell clothing and shoes, use Foot Locker. If you want to sell toys, use Lego. And some of these, they might not give you an invoice off the bat, so you could call their customer service and be like, hey, I purchased 10 of X, right? 10 of this unit. Could you send me an invoice with my business address on it? And they will always, you know, agree, and they'll ask for your email where they'll send it to you, and you could use that, download it as a PDF and upload it into Amazon, and you will get ungated in these categories. So in my opinion, as a new Amazon seller, I strongly recommend going either in the grocery niche, the clothing, or the toys. Those are three of the best niches to start selling, just because there's so many brands, there's a wide variety of them, and you can't go wrong. Like I said before, I made a previous video on, you know, certain niches and how you could get started on Amazon. So if you like, watch that video if you want to know more. But for arbitrage, you could get ungated with brands and categories using Target.com. You need an invoice from them, obviously, and you can also use Costco, because I know a lot of sellers, they source the items from Costco. You just need to have to purchase with a business account and purchase 10 units from them. It's not that complicated. It's very straightforward. Like I said, don't overcomplicate it. A lot of people say things that make it sound super complicated, but in reality, it's not like that. They're just fear-mongering you guys. But I'm here to help. I'm here to drop all the value that I can to help you guys succeed, because that is my goal. So moving on to required softwares. There is honestly just 2 softwares that you need in order to succeed on selling on Amazon. And in my opinion, these are must-haves. You will not be able to make valid purchasing decisions, and you will not be able to at least succeed on Amazon without these 2 softwares. And I guess they're not really tied to these 2 specific softwares, because there's alternatives, but you need these 2 softwares of this kind, or usage at least, if that makes sense. And the first that I highly recommend is AZ Insights or ASINZen. They're both the same thing. It's just like they have 2 different names to it. It's a bit confusing. I was a little bit confused myself, but yeah, so I just call it AZ Insights. And for $19.95 a month, which is very cheap, by the way, this is a required product sourcing tool, which tells you how often a product sells, their sales rank, and how profitable your item is. So essentially, this tool just tells you whether or not this item is worth buying, because it tells you how much demand there is. And there's a little calculator setting that tells you that you can plug in your numbers, and it will spit out like a full calculation on what your ROI is, your margin, and everything. And a quick tip: go for items that are at least 30% ROI. So for every $10 you spend, you want to aim for at least $3 in profit. So that's the ideal point. And I'm not even like over exaggerating. Every single item that I sell in my store, I look for them at least 30% ROI. Some of my items go up to even 40 or 50% ROI. So for every $10, I make like $4 or $5, which is amazing. And it's very common, especially in the Amazon space, right? Do not go for items under 30%. So that's the first software. The second software is Keepa, and for $20 a month, this is another required sourcing tool which provides information on historical pricing and competitive data. In my opinion, this is the most important sourcing software that every seller can have. If there's one software that you need to have, it would be Keepa, but like I said, obviously both of them are a requirement. But essentially, the reason why Keepa is a required software is because at the end of the day, with every single item that you're purchasing, you do not know and you cannot tell the future pricing. So the best way to judge whether an item is good to purchase or not is, number one, look at the current snapshot, so the current price, the current buy box, and you could do that by using AZ Insights, where you can see the demand currently at this current time. And with Keepa, it shows you the historical data, because you could get a good idea on if this item sold at, say, $20 2 months ago, and a month ago it's at $20 as well. You can make a good estimate that this item will continue selling at $20 going forward. But if an item was selling at $50 3 months ago and now it's at $15, so it dropped by $35 over the 30-day span, you could get a good idea that this item might not be the greatest, because it becomes a little bit harder to predict whether or not or what price this item will be going forward in the next 30 days or the next 60 days. So these 2 softwares are a requirement, to say the least. And let me just hop onto Amazon so I can show you guys a very quick overview on these 2 tools. Okay guys, so I have pulled up a listing, a Nike Crew Sock listing, and essentially this right here in the middle, this is AZ Insight. As we see here, it shows the estimated monthly sales. We see these socks sells 14,000 times a month, which is crazy. That's a lot. We see the estimated revenue that it generates at $400,000 a month. So this listing is crazy, guys. The BSR is 73. This is the seller's rank. It provides the ASIN. It provides all the information. As we see here, here is the calculator for FBM and FBA. I know it is a little bit, I guess, a lot to take in, a lot to digest. So feel free to pause this video right here just to take a look, understand what you're looking at, the layout and everything, because you will need to familiarize yourself with this in order to make valid purchasing decisions. And the second thing is Keepa. So if you scroll down, all of these are plugins and they embed with itself within Amazon.com. This is the Keepa graph. It shows everything that you need to know to make your buying decisions. As we see here, right here, guys, it shows day, week, month, 3-week, year, and all. So these are all historical snapshots where it shows the pricing, which is on the top graph, the purple line, purple or pink line, actually, the pink line actually, it shows historical data in the last day. So we see it's hovering at around $26 to $28. And in the weekly, we see here it's also hovering at around $26, $27. Monthly, which is the same. And in last 3 months, we see the price slightly went up from about $22 all the way up to $27. And then we see yearly, we see here that the price kind of peaks at around December, January, and it drops a bit going later into the year. And then we see the graph for all time from July, or from when is this? From February 2019 all the way till now. So it is great. It provides all the information. And the bottom graph here shows the offer count. And what offer count is your competition. So for every new offer count is every seller who's on this listing. So right now we see there is the offer count's at 42. So that means there are 42 sellers on this listing. And a month ago, we see there was 21. And 3 months ago, we see there was 87. So the offer just fluctuates. We see that there is a consistently good amount of sellers on this listing, which is a good thing. That means you can profitably source these items, or source this item at least. So that's great. But that's just like a very, very quick introduction into what AZ Insights and what Keepa does. And I just wanted to show you, the features of everything. So you made it to the end of this video. I want to thank you guys very much, as 99% of all my viewers don't make it to this point simply because they're just not serious enough about succeeding on Amazon. But you are, and I really appreciate that, and I thank you, and I can't thank you enough. Please click that link in the description below where you can apply for a one-on-one mentorship with me. My goal is to get you to 0 to 10K a month selling on Amazon in less than 90 days. I think that's very doable. I've done it many times. A few of my students have done that, and I want you to be the next one to do that as well. So I really hope you guys took a lot away from this video and learned a lot of value. But yeah, click that link below, book a call with me, and I'll see what I can do to help you on your Amazon journey, and I'll see you in the next video.